Hello everyone, my name's Kitty House Gamer, and for this video I'm going to be reacting to some spooky stories. And I found this channel by the great Llama Arts, and the first video I'm going to react to, well, some of the video because it's more than one story, is Trick or Treat stories that are animated. They're narrated by the incredible Mr. Nightmare, who I'm a massive fan of, and I'm excited. I love a good spooky story. So, full screen. Trick or treat.
It was Halloween night of 2007, freshman year in high school, and I was with my friends Ivan, Ryan, and Jesse. We were all dressed as the Super Mario characters. I was Luigi since I was the second tallest. Ivan was Mario since he's short and buff. Not that Mario is buff. Jesse was Waluigi because he's freakishly tall and skinny. And Ryan was Wario because he's just really fat.
Charming.
So they were the perfect group costumes for us. We live in a very non-congested suburban neighborhood with a decent amount of space in between houses. On Halloween, that's the worst thing ever. Less bang for your buck.
Yep.
We were trick-or-treating for hours, way past dark, and eventually came the time when most trick-or-treaters were heading home. My feet started to hurt, and I had to constantly switch arms for holding the now 10-pound pillow sack of candy, but we planned on going until our bags were completely full. A lot of the houses by now weren't answering anymore. It was probably past their cutoff time for giving candy to trick-or-treaters. Approaching our next house, we saw a purple bucket on the stoop, which was the best feeling ever. I was the one to get close enough to realize it was empty, which was the worst feeling ever.
Yeah.
I turned around when I heard a knock at the window of the house. We all looked at the window. Couldn't see anyone, but heard someone call out, "Wait."
I thought I saw a silhouette in the window.
The door opened and an older man, late 40s, already balding, stepped outside. He told us to come inside so he can get us some more candy. I said we could just wait out here. He responded saying something along the lines of, "Nonsense, come on in, we'll get you your candy." Ivan stepped in and said, "It's alright. Come on, Dan, let's go." I told the guy to take care and apologized. He just stood there watching as we walked off, not saying anything. I felt bad, but at the same time, that guy seemed like a creeper, and I think I just dodged a bullet not going in there.
Yeah.
If the story ended there, it wouldn't be scary. So, of course, it didn't end there. We skipped a few of the guys' neighboring houses just to get further away and continued on with our business. We were walking down close to the nature preserve now, so there weren't many houses around us. At this point, we were now walking back closer to Jesse's house. I noticed Ryan had stopped walking, and I turned around to see what's up. He said he heard someone moving from behind the trees in the preserve. Now, this was before everyone's phones had flashlights, so we couldn't just go searching in the woods for someone.
Yep.
Besides, we were just telling Ryan that it must have been a raccoon or something. You may think this is a bit of a cliche, but when things like this happen in real life, you always assume the more logical possibility. It's just natural. Why would we assume we were being followed? I had to put my arm around Ryan's shoulder and nudge him forward. A little ways down the street, me and Ivan picked up on the sound as well. When we all stopped, the sounds of the footsteps from beyond the trees stopped as well. Ivan yelled at the obvious stalker to go away, or we would beat the shit out of them.
Oh yeah.
I knew he was just bluffing though. I could hear the nervousness in his voice.
Yeah, I'm going to get forever a bunch of kids.
The snap of a twig from beyond the trees triggered a fight-or-flight response in all of us. Me, Jesse, and Ryan all ran for it. Ivan was at first charging to attack, but he quickly followed after realizing we had all taken off. We ran down the dark street, and we all noticed the sounds of at least 2 or 3 pairs of footsteps crushing the twigs and leaves in the woods.
Your own footsteps, you mean?
We banked it hard right down Jesse Street when it finally came up, and ran straight for his backyard, entering his house through the back door. The first thing we did was peek out through his living room window.
Not the best idea.
We couldn't see anyone. We all had to gather our thoughts and discuss what the hell just went down in his living room, when all of a sudden we heard Jesse's backyard gate slam shut. Jesse dove to turn off the lights. There was a click and a bang from down in the den. It was more than likely Jesse's back door. We all agreed to go down armed with knives and face them.
Good idea.
Jesse turned on his back door light, but there was nobody out there. Just then the front door opened, and we all screamed like animals. Jesse's mom and sisters came rushing downstairs. They had just gotten home from their friend's little house party. We all rested assured knowing it was just them. Jesse explained what happened, but made it seem a lot less dramatic. Me and Ivan went home after that and called it a night. At 12:30 a.m., I got a disturbing text message. It was from Jesse. It said, "It wasn't my mom." I texted back saying, "What?" He responded back quickly, saying, "It wasn't my mom in the backyard."
Of course, why wouldn't it be?
My fingers slammed the buttons on my phone, responding back, "What do you mean?"
That'll take you a while.
There was a long pause before he finally told me that his mom and sisters said they never went in the backyard. I told him to immediately check the backyard from his upper deck.
Don't do that!
He had already done just that.
Yeah, balcony?
He also
cool.
told his mom everything, and she had already called the police.
Good
They
thinking.
didn't find anyone back there, but Jesse did mention the guy who invited us in while trick-or-treating.
Good idea.
Nothing ever became of that.
Ah,
And
cool.
nothing ever happened at Jesse's house again after that one Halloween night.
Great costumes. Woo. Okay. That was interesting. And very good, lads, for not going inside that weirdo's house. Kids, this is a special announcement from your favourite gamer. Never, ever go inside someone's house. Ever. Unless you know them. But even then, never, ever, ever go inside their house. You don't know what kind of weirdo they are. Right. Anyway, I enjoyed that, so I'm very debating whether it's true or not, because it's not a very good idea to run to your own house. And you should all, and don't allow yourself, call the police immediately just in case. And I have to be honest, my favourite bit of all that was when they were all dressed up as creepypasta characters at the end. I wonder if I react to another one. I love these. Okay, so the next one is babysitting stories. And I can relate because I used to be a babysitter for my munchkins, so... But thankfully nothing bad ever happened.
It was during a blizzard in Valley Stream. I was getting paid $250 to watch some couple's kid while they went away for the weekend. His name was Matthew. This took place on the first night, which was a Friday night. Matthew was already supposedly asleep, while I was in the living room watching a movie. I got a knock at the door.
Clockwork Orange.
And looked at the clock. It was close to midnight. There was no way I was opening it.
Good idea.
Not even 10 seconds later, I heard the sound of 2 or 3 men angrily banging on the door, telling me to open up. I felt like my heart was about to stop. I took a peek through the blinds.
Not the best
There
idea.
was somebody standing right on the other side of the window.
Oh no.
And after managing to get back on my feet, I ran to the kitchen phone first thing to call the police.
Good boy.
They said because of the weather, it could take a while for an officer to get here. I was told to
Take a
the
helicopter
child
then.
and hide somewhere until an officer arrived. They wanted to keep me on the line, but I wasn't thinking clearly in the heat of the moment and hung up. However, it wasn't until I ran through the living room that I realized the banging had stopped. I took a second peek through the living room window.
Make sure the kid's okay first.
Nobody was there now.
First rule.
I heard the sound of glass shattering from a few rooms over. My knees started to feel weak as I realized they had just broken the window and were about to climb into the house. I had to run and get Matthew. I couldn't just leave without him.
No.
Of course, when I got upstairs, there was no time left to run back downstairs, as I already heard footsteps and laughter coming from downstairs. I covered Matthew's mouth with my hand as I ran with him into his toy closet.
Yeah, that's a
few
good
minutes
idea.
dragged on to what felt like half an hour as we sat there in the dark closet. Matthew began to squeal as footsteps on the carpet reached the outside of his
Anyone
bedroom
would.
door. There was more than one person. They came inside. There weren't many places to hide in this room. I was actually reflecting on my whole life, so sure I was gonna die. We heard the sound of a police siren outside, even from in the closet. And then I heard one of the men in the room mutter, "Oh shit." I opened the door back up
I doubt they
as I
said
heard at least
that.
3 pairs of footsteps hurriedly rushing down the stairs. They didn't get far, as the police later found their footprints in the backyard, leading to our shed. There were 5 men in total, and they were all arrested.
5 men. Okay. Well, obviously, those men weren't the brightest bulbs in the chandelier. Especially when they had a trail running right to their hiding place. But, good lad. You did the right thing, apart from peeking through the blind, and you made sure little Matthew was safe. Okay, last one is true snowstorm stories. I'm only picking this one because I love snow.
My name is Ethan, and I'm a photographer. I took a trip last year with my wife to the Colorado mountains for an art project. My wife is also an avid skier, so she talked me into adding skiing into the trip. We had the option to book a room at a ski resort or rent out a private log cabin. The second one seemed more romantic, so I picked that one. Plus, it didn't hurt that it was cheaper. The cabin was nothing luxurious or anything. It was a single floor, 4-room little thing. A 2-person bedroom, a small living room, a kitchen, and a bathroom. It may have been small, but the actual idea of being secluded in a warm log cabin during a blizzard was amazing. However, the storm was interfering with the cable signal, so we didn't have much to do this one particular evening. It was just starting to get dark out at this point, but there was still a decent amount of light outside, so I thought it would be perfect for getting a few shots and videos in the blizzard for backgrounds and wallpapers. I told my wife I'd be back within 10 minutes and slipped on my boots and coat. The moment I stepped outside and shut the door, I noticed footsteps leading up to the door in the snow that had blown under the wooden awning. I could see the prints doubled, as whoever left them there turned and went the opposite direction.
Wrong cabin?
I was freaked the fuck out, but I wasn't about to go inside and scare my wife. I decided to give in to my curiosity and followed the prints to the right side of the cabin. Right away, I noticed that they led to the bedroom window. My heart froze in fear when I saw this. I could see my wife sitting on the bed using her iPad. She noticed me and I waved. She laughed. I continued to follow the footprints around the cabin to the other side. They led to the living room window on the other side. Someone was stalking us, but how long ago was the question? I found myself standing there for a good minute asking myself if I should follow the footprints anymore. For whatever reason, I decided I would. They were now leading away from the cabin. I knew I was following the prints to where this person was going, not coming from, simply by the boot marks. I followed the prints away from the opening and into the trees. That was where I saw him.
Get your camera out.
A black coat facing a tree, slouched down looking at the ground.
That'll be great for a Christmas card.
A statue, and I could see the snow piling up on his hood and shoulders. I froze in my tracks, trying not to make a sound. I would have thought to ask him if he needed help otherwise, but this guy was just standing there, not doing anything, like some kind of deranged freak.
Oh, maybe hypothermia?
I started to gradually move backwards without even turning around, making sure this man didn't turn around or notice me. When I got at a visual distance, I turned around and stomped through the snow back to the cabin. When I slammed the door shut, my wife came over to see what was wrong. I saw worry in her eyes. I guess she saw the worry in mine. She knew I saw something, and after a few minutes of harassment, I finally told her what I saw. She immediately started packing her things, telling me we're leaving right away.
Should we call the police first?
No, we're not going anywhere. I would not get a refund for leaving early, and I wasn't about to up and leave just because some weird guy was walking around outside.
Most sensible people would.
She made a point of locking both locks on the door and making sure all of the windows were sealed shut.
Good lady.
For the rest of the night, we read stuff on our iPads. I reviewed the pictures and videos I had taken so far. We turned out the lights early, as there wasn't much else to do. What if he's still out there? I remember my wife asking me.
He'd be frozen solid.
There's no way he's still out there, I then assured her. Listening to the wind blowing outside, along with the small flakes of snow hitting the windows, was strangely relaxing, and I knew I'd be able to fall asleep quickly. Except if it wasn't for... the knock at the bedroom window. We were both still awake, and we both knew it was a knock from a person. I ushered my wife out of bed and out into the living room without turning on any lights. There was nothing to use as a weapon whatsoever. Our only option was to run before something might happen.
Might want to get your coats ready.
We had to forget our luggage and make a dash for the Jeep. We slipped on our boots and coats in the dark in a matter of seconds.
Oh, good.
And when we heard a knock at the living room window from the opposite side of our car, we took that opportunity to run.
You should have a phone with you first, though.
So grateful I chose to have remote locks on my Wrangler, and we hopped in. The car started with ease, and as soon as the headlights flashed on, the man was standing facing the log cabin on our side now. Not a window, just facing the wall of the cabin in the same position I had seen him in earlier.
That's where you wouldn't be able to see his face. Oh.
We drove to the nearby ski resort without much trouble in the Jeep. We stayed there for the night and went back the next day to the log cabin to collect our things we left behind. He wasn't there.
Someone's in the window. He really should have listened to his wife the first time, because it's a good job you heard that knock while you were, well, not quite asleep. Because, you know, could have done it very differently. Very, very differently. Whew. Anyway, I like them. I like them a lot, and the animation, as always, is brilliant. Anyway, I'll leave links in the description below if you'd like to watch these again. And too, they're great. Really spooky. And also having Mr. Nightmare narrate them. Perfection. Anyway, I'm going to end it here. If you liked it, hit a like button and don't forget to subscribe for more. Happy Halloween!